Good evening. We are joined by head coach Gary Watkins. Coach Gary, thanks for joining us today.
What up, Bo? How's it going?
Hey, I know you've been preparing once again, getting ready for a Thursday night football game tomorrow night at 7 p.m. against El Camino College. Once again, in this division, there are no easy games. Every
No.
game is a contest, and I just want to go back to our previous game, a tough game against Southwestern College. My feeling on that game, there were a lot of opportunities that we let go, a lot of opportunities in which we could have. In a sense, kind of gained the momentum. Obviously, a game that went back and forth with the momentum, right? If there was one thing that you think we could have done just a little bit better to come out on the winning side game, what would that be?
Yeah, I mean, I think, we didn't start the way we needed to.
Hmm.
Obviously letting them get to a lead in the first half is very uncharacteristic of our program.
Yeah.
They scored 31 points in the first half, which kudos to them. That's the most points that we've given up all
Yeah.
season. And so, but our defense did a great job in the second half of holding them to zero in the second half, and then the offense was able to um, come back and take the lead, and then tie the game up. I mean, tie the game up and
Yep.
um, go play three overtimes. And so, now obviously, you want to start better. You want to play better in the first half, and respond appropriately, which I thought my guys did in the second
Hmm.
half.
Hmm.
You've been around us long enough, Bo, to know we're not going to fold up the tents and call it a game. We're going to come back out swinging. And so,
Of course.
very proud of how our guys competed in that second half. And honestly competed to the very end of the game. I mean, anytime you play in a three overtime football game, it's probably a pretty exciting game, which that was. And so, obviously, we didn't come out on the side of on the side that we would have liked to come on, but nevertheless, it was still a exciting game to be a part of, and obviously, we just wish had got a different result.
Absolutely. And that was the thing when we were watching the game and when we were watching it and we were talking about it afterwards with some of the guys up in the press box. That game, besides the fact that it was, decided by one or two plays here and there, but there were also plays within regulation time that again could have changed the result of that game. And but also as you mentioned, you got as I always say, you got to tip the cap to the other team for making the plays that they needed to make plays. And for us, and again, I know we stress about it all the time. There were just some very, very unnecessary penalties that we received, and I know as much as we talk about that, that's always a point of focus with you. And we just got to be able to keep the emotions in check, right? So, Coach, let me ask you, after a tough game like that, what's the message to your team?
Yeah.
As tough of a game that is, what's the message immediately after that game, and then moving forward for tomorrow's game?
Yeah, so I keep with my guys, and I'm a truth teller. I'm not going
Hmm.
to sugarcoat it to them. I'm going to tell them that we have to be better prepared. We have to make sure that we start faster. We have to make sure that we don't beat ourselves. But we've played arguably one of the toughest schedules
Yeah.
in the SCFA thus far, and we've lost three games by a total of 8 points.
Hmm.
And so, like I told them post game, like they're a good football team. Like my team is a good football team. The Mesa Olympian football team is a good football team. There's no reason to hang their heads. There's no reason to be, depressed or
Hmm.
distraught about, an outcome. It's all about getting ready for the next one,
Yeah.
and so learning from this previous game and hopefully being able to put on a better performance this upcoming game because, like you said already, there are no weeks off in
Yeah.
the SCFA South. You know what I mean? Every single week, you are playing top tier opponents. Um, the league in itself has three former playoff teams with ourselves, Riverside, and El Camino, who was a playoff team last year. And if we had had the 6 team model like we have currently, Saddleback would have been in the playoffs last year too.
Sure.
So
Sure.
it's a very, very talented um, league. And so just getting our guys to understand that, there's nothing they can do about last week's loss besides learn from the mistakes that we made and work hard to never make those mistakes again. But that outcome's already been decided.
Yeah.
And so What I encourage them to do is not allow that outcome to dictate this upcoming outcome. The game tomorrow night is going to be a game, a hard-fought game versus El
Mhm.
Camino. But what happened last week, or the week before when we played, is not going to have any bearing on what's going to take place tomorrow
Sure.
night. And so, just encouraging them to trust the process and continue to correct our mistakes and stay together. And when you go, when you're at 2-3 in the bye, it's very easy for teams to become divisive, and it's very easy for teams to start pointing the finger. But I can proudly say that that's not part of our culture.
Absolutely.
It's times like this where we get closer as a team, as a coaching staff, and we dig our heels in a little bit deeper, and
Mhm.
we come out together fighting, and that's what our plan is for tomorrow night.
Absolutely. And just to add, I don't know if you mentioned also Mount Sac in this division
Yeah.
there as well.
Oh yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
there's definitely horses in this division that, they say
Yeah.
there are no days off. And you and I both have been around this game long enough, particularly this program, that, as you mentioned, it's not about what happened yesterday because that doesn't determine the season, right?
Right.
These
Yeah.
challenges, losses, obstacles, whatever you want to call them, set you up to be better the following week. And
Yep.
from what I've seen with the program, and ever since you came here in 2000, what is it, 17, 18,
Yep.
around there,
17-18. Yep.
you have these bumps, right?
Yep.
But it's, from what I see, it's the bounce back is even greater and more powerful from do that. And speaking of powerful, again, we're gonna go back to there are no days off.
Yep.
We welcome tomorrow at El Camino College the Warriors. They are currently what are they? They're 5-2, I believe. No, 4-1. They're currently
Four and
four and
one.
one. Four
Yep.
and one. I mean, the numbers are there. It's their offense, their passing yards. Passing yards per game, 230 yards per game. Passing yards per completion average, 12.7. Total offense. I mean, they're up there. They're a tough game. 454 yards a game. What's been the focus against El Camino during practice this week?
Yeah, so we have some familiarity with El
Yeah.
Camino. We've played them multiple times in the regular season, multiple times in bowl games, and every time we get together, it's an exciting football game that usually comes down to the wire. And so,
Oh, hey,
um,
let me cut you off there. One of the
yeah,
memories that I have with that was that El Camino game at home when I think it was just a punt that we had to, it was a punt to run out the
yeah,
time. And
yeah,
I think the video stream caught it. I was like, all right, as long as we can get this off, we're good.
yeah. I was almost over that, Bo. Thanks for
Yeah.
bringing that one up.
Hey,
I
you're
was almost
welcome.
over it.
I still live
Uh,
that thing, and I'm like, did that just
yeah,
happen? So
yeah,
El Camino, we're familiar with them. Sorry,
yeah,
just I just had to bring that back from the memory bank.
yeah. From the archive, I think we
Exactly,
played
exactly.
maybe four times since I've been the head
Yeah.
coach, and the first couple of years we were in the same conference, and then a couple times we got matched up in out of conference play, and then one year we played twice in the same year in the
Mhm.
bowl game, and so we've gone back and forth. And like I was telling the team today before I cut them loose, they can expect another championship heavyweight bout. I mean,
Of
you're
course.
talking about Ali Frazier, like just two heavyweights going toe to toe for 60 minutes. Like it's not going to be anything less than that because that's what it's been every single time we've gotten together.
Sure.
It's been a lot of fun and a lot of excitement, high scoring games, and there's a couple close, 2020. I think we won the last one 20-21 or 21-20 and in a bowl game. And so like we have some familiarity. And so as the stats you just rattled off, like they are producing numbers on offense, and
Yeah, they are.
they have a very strong running game and a strong passing game, and they do not make a lot of mistakes on offense. And then you turn around and watch their defense, and oh my gosh, they're flying around, loving guys to the ball, physical up front, tall, long, rangy on the back end. And so, really good football team. They were not a playoff team last year by accident. Coach Gift does a great job of getting those guys ready to play. And like I told our guys, when that first bell rings tomorrow, you better come out your corner fighting because if not,
Yeah.
uh, you'll be getting your tail up off the mat. And so I'm excited to see our guys come out tomorrow ready to rock and roll and go toe to toe with the Warriors.
Absolutely. Once again, we are joined by head coach Gary Watkins, where the Olympians currently sit at 2-3 with a big match tomorrow against El Camino College. Again, I can't speak enough about some of the film that I've seen and also looking at the numbers. I mean, when you're producing 200 plus yards a game on the ground, right, including another 200 up in the air, and that's a tough challenge. But I do know
Yeah.
that I'm sure you guys are focused on that. Hey, coach. I know you got a lot of film that you still got to study before the end of the night here. One last question for you, and you talked about it
Yep.
briefly a second ago about coming from an emotional game against Southwestern College, and tomorrow I'm sure
Mm.
you would agree. This is a game that we can't start out the way the game like the way the game started in Southwestern, right? You cannot
Hmm.
do that because then you're
Yeah.
climbing up a mountain the entire
Yep.
time, and
Yep.
you go to a three overtime game, fatigue's going to become a role, right? It's going to play a
Yep.
role. Um, what's going to be the message going into from the moment the athletes come into the facility to the moment they step on the field? What's the message from the coaching staff to these guys?
Yeah. For us, we always preach about just being locked in on the task at hand, right? The task at hand for tomorrow is to go 1-0 tomorrow, and
Yeah.
you mentioned, three overtime game. You mentioned, the fatigue. Like that stuff's great, Bo, but when the ball's kicked off, nobody
Mhm.
cares. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like El Camino is not going to care that we played a three overtime game, right?
Yeah.
They are there tomorrow night. They're traveling down to play tomorrow night, and the message to our guys is, like I said, it doesn't matter what happened last week.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who's in front of us next week. The only game that matters, the most important game, is the one we have to play tomorrow night. And so the message for our guys is to start fast, right?
Mhm.
Start fast. Don't flinch when adversity shows because it's going to show up in every football game. It always does, right? Whether it's a turnover, whether it's a stupid penalty, whatever the reason, you're going to be faced with some adversity. And we just tell our guys, don't flinch. Just play the next play. Don't worry about the score. That's my job, right? It's my job to worry about the score and manage the game, and it's their job to play and play to the Olympian standard performance you always hear me talk about. And so it's a game within the game for us. It's just going out there and doing the things that we've been coached to do for the last I don't know what 7, 9 days,
Mhm.
however long the bye week was, the prep work was for Elko, and go out there and execute that game plan as violently as possible for as long as we need to, And so I think our guys are locked and ready and excited about the opportunity to get back on the field together and go out there and compete and get that nasty taste of defeat out of our mouths, And so we're excited at the opportunity to go out there and compete again and hopefully put our best foot forward and come out victorious.
Oh, so that's the way it is. Simple as that. And that's the same thing that what growing up, what any of my coaches said. It's not what happened yesterday. It's what you do tomorrow. It's the only
Yep,
thing that counts.
all that matters.
All that matters. Once again, Coach, well, thank you for your time. Let's go get him tomorrow. El Camino College at home, 7 p.m. kickoff start. Again, it's a 7 p.m. kickoff start as normal, 6 p.m. It's a cash only at the gates. Coach, let's go get him.
All right, boy. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right now.